is Mary Remington. I'm the Director of Spiritual Care here at Good Samaritan Hospital. Welcome to the Blessing of the Soil 2020. Today's blessing is unlike any one that's come before it because usually we do this with a community around us, hospital staff in our presence. And today is just a few of us who are gathered standing in masks and being filmed so we can share this moment virtually on a computer. The current pandemic continues to change our landscape, the way we gather, how we navigate through our day-to-day. And amidst all that is changing before us, there is Mother Nature who remains constant. I see her as some kind of friend we continually turn to, gaze upon, and even rely on to help create balance. She holds us right now and has been blessing us with her generosity since the beginning of time, giving us oxygen, food, water, beauty, a space on which to journey and dream. It is the least we can do to offer our love and bless her back, as we're about to do today. We'll now have Sister Susan Evelyn, Senior Vice President of Mission, come and offer us her reflection.
Thank you, Mary. You're welcome. This is a very different one for sure. And I thought I would connect the blessing of the soil and nature to the COVID-19 virus that is so much a part of who we are these days. And so I came up with 7 benefits of connecting nature with the COVID pandemic. We get vitamin D from the sun, and it's essential for our immune system and for our bone health. So the sun is good for us. Let's remember that and get out of the hospital when we can. There's also mental health. Some of it is more questionable on certain days. We're at risk for mental health issues in any time of quarantining. And so, if we focus on the flora and the fauna and pay attention to the tender songs of the birds. Along with nature comes good exercise. It encourages walking, strolling, or biking, to name a few. And fresh air. Fresh air is always good for the lungs. It can help to clear the senses, and couldn't we all use some clearer headspace these days? It's about being still and feeling small. Nature provides for a slower pace and encourages reflection. Psalm 46 verse 10 says it all. Be still and know that I am God. There are spiritual benefits to being out in nature because we get to spend time alone with our God. And what could be a bigger blessing than that in nature? And finally, I believe we learn from nature. We are told in Job 12:7, but ask the animals and they will instruct you. Ask the birds of the air and they will tell you. Or speak to the earth and it will teach you. Let the fish of the sea inform you. And so, thank you very much for watching us online. And next, I would like to introduce Father Hippolytus, who is going to offer us an invocation. Thank you, Father.
Thank you, Sister Susan, and thank you, all of us. Like you all said, this year's Blessing of the Soil is so unique. It's so unique in the sense that we are able to adapt to what is going on around us. So I want to start this invocation with a reading from the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verses 1 to 8. There is an appointed time for everything, and there is a time for every event under heaven. A time to give birth and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot what is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to throw stones and a time to gather stones. A time to embrace and a time to shun embracing. A time to search and a time to give up as lost. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear apart and a time to sew together. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace. We call upon the good and gracious one We are grateful for the gift of life and for all that you have curated. We call upon you to help us to nurture and to nourish all you have made. Help us to sow seeds of life, not to destroy. Help us to heal the broken-hearted as we go through this difficult time of the coronavirus. Help us to build up together in love and charity and generosity and not to tear down. Turn our mourning into laughter and rejoicing. Help us to share the fruits of our labors with the hungry at the harvest time and restore peace, hope, reassurance, love, and happiness to our troubled world. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amy Ori, horticultural therapist here at the Garden of Hope, and my work focuses around relationship, and relationship is something that in the midst of all of this kind of chaos going on, we're longing for. And here in the Garden of Hope, we're finding that people-plant relationship is kind of filling a void that we're needing out here. And another void that we're feeling within ourselves is this sense of control or predictability. We know that our family lives are unpredictable, our work lives, our work day is unpredictable, social life, the virus itself, in and of itself, is unpredictable. And so we feel that there's a loss of a sense of control. And in that predictability, I know that there are predictable patterns out here, and I see them all around me every day. Yesterday, I wouldn't call moving from a 78-degree morning to a 48-degree afternoon predictable, but I did know that in the morning, this morning, the sun was going to rise. I know that the moon will rise today as well. And so we find that there. We know that the leaves will unfold and offer us shade. We know that waters will roll up on a beach, time and time again. So nature offers us that predictability. I know that the Garden of Hope here provides sustenance food-wise, but the Garden of Hope also provides sustenance as far as mind, body, and spirit. And each of these vary from time to time, person to person, what they receive from the Garden of Hope while they're here. This Garden of Hope not only does food, but it really does provide a space of hope, a space for purposeful and mindful pause, a space for burdened minds to rest, and a very safe space to shed a tear that maybe we've been holding back all day. So as we move through our days, where time seems, one day goes into the next, and time seems to kind of be very, very fluid and not knowing. I thought about the world as we knew it. And I hear about people talking about, the world as we knew it. And I think out here in the Garden of Hope, we see the world that God made before we knew it. And there's something about recognizing that nature, his natural world, has always been here. And perhaps we've lost sight of it. And so as Sister Susan was looking at the positives of what is happening at the time of this challenge, one of those positives is getting in touch with God's gift, the natural world that he created for us here, that has always been here before we knew ours. And the Garden of Hope provides that for us here today.
Your blessings be upon it, the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. You ready?
Yes.
Sister, you running away?